The days of Democratic leaders choosing to ally with titans of industry over working people are over.
Donald Trump aside, arguably the bigger danger for Democrats right now is the socialist insurgency building within their own party.
Too many New Yorkers are leaving the city because of failed policies of this city and state. New York City should be a city for everyone.
And the latest test of their resistance is candidate Zohran Mamdani and New York City's mayoral race.
A movement by the people and for the people answers only to the people.
Including undocumented people.
When you have someone like Mamdani secure one of the highest offices in the country or the most visible offices in the country, all of a sudden that's going to confer legitimacy on a lot of other left-wing candidates, and you'll see a lot more of them running.
This is about the message that the people of New York City are trying to send to our party.
And I think we saw this in 2018 with AOC, who very much was in the Mamdani mold. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won that surprise primary victory and won that House seat, and all of a sudden, you now have several members of Congress who are also far to the left of where the Democratic Party traditionally was.
The people are clearly asking for generational change.
34-year-old Mamdani is now leading the race by double digits. His closest competitor, Andrew Cuomo, is now running as an independent.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism. And I think ultimately the definition for me of why I call myself a democratic socialist is the words of Dr. King decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
Mr. Mamdani is a talented political performer and has benefited from unpopular opponents. Republican Curtis Sliwa is a political retread who seems to be in the race largely to help his talk radio show. Meanwhile, Mr. Cuomo is carrying much baggage from his tenure as New York's governor.
I'm going to fight for the family with Andrew Cuomo as the next mayor of the city of New York.
This Democratic Socialist Party has really radical, extreme views. They believe in a socialist economy of Venezuela, Cuba.
Since winning the Democratic nomination, Mr. Mamdani has tried to tone down his views. For example, telling reporters that unless a policy is on his official website, it isn't his view.
Are you for decriminalizing misdemeanors? All misdemeanors? No. You can't find that on my platform because it's not there.
But speaking to rapturous supporters at his Our Time Has Come rally, October the 13th, he unveiled a raft of what he called commitments.
We believe that buses should be fast, and we believe that housing is far too expensive. We're going to build hundreds of thousands of affordable homes, take on bad landlords, and freeze the... And we believe that daycare shouldn't cost as much as a year's tuition at City College. That's why we're going to deliver universal... These are not just slogans. These are commitments.
Mr. Mamdani said nothing in the rally about how he'd pay for any of these commitments.
New York City itself is actually in a budget crunch. Mayor Adams had to cut the budget several times just to kind of keep existing operations afloat. So if Mamdani wants to add all of these new entitlements like childcare up to the age of 5, free buses, things like that, they're going to need billions and billions of new dollars, which means they're going to need tax increases, and the state legislature and the governor of New York would have to sign off on that.
In September, Governor Hochul endorsed Mr. Mamdani, and during an interview with Fox News, he was asked how he'd pay for his pledges.
I've said that the two clear ways to do so, raising personal income taxes on the top 1% by 2%, and raising the corporate tax to match that of New Jersey's corporate tax of 11.5%.
Kathy Hochul, for the past several years, has really been hesitant to increase specifically the income tax. She said very forthrightly that I don't want to raise it, and has admitted that doing so can chase high earners out of the city. And we've already seen a lot of them go to Florida or to Texas.
Made it very clear that we have differences, but I also believe that he brings a sense of optimism and the can-do spirit, a positivity that I believe our city needs at this time.
She's under a lot of pressure to at least say, I'm going to work with him. Maybe we'll find some kind of middle ground. And so as she has now endorsed him and moved in his direction, all of those people who are counting on Albany to be that check on Mamdani are going to have to look elsewhere, because it seems like she's going to really be cooperating with a lot of what he wants to do, including that tax increase.
As to keeping the streets safe, in 2020, Mr. Mamdani called NYPD wicked and corrupt, something he's since apologized for. But now he wants to shift money from policing to a new Department of Community Safety.
We will have dedicated teams of mental health outreach workers in the top 100 subway stations with the highest levels of the mental health crisis and homelessness.
On education, Mr. Mamdani opposes charter schools and would abandon mayoral control over schools, turning governance in practice over to the unions. Meanwhile, on Israel, both opposition candidates in the second debate accused the frontrunner of being hostile to Jewish supporters.
I have never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad. That is not something that I have said, and that continues to be ascribed to me, and frankly, I think much of it has to do with the fact that I am the first Muslim candidate to be on the precipice of winning this election.
Some Republicans welcome a Mamdani victory. They believe it will help them in the 2026 midterms.
He's a communist. I don't think our country is ready for a communist, but we're going to see.
Trump has been essentially, baiting New Yorkers to elect Mamdani with the sense that that's going to then lead to a crackdown and the resurgence of conservatism as people in the center react against socialism.
But GOP glee is short-sighted. The demise of New York as a financial center wouldn't be good for the country, and if the city heads towards bankruptcy, the pressure for a bailout from Washington will only build. But the biggest risk is a socialist takeover of the Democratic Party.
I have vast disagreements with him, obviously. He's a socialist, I'm a Democrat, but he's had a very good online campaign.
Sooner or later, the Democratic Party will retake the White House, as inevitably there'll be a recession or voters will simply tire of the incumbents. And as an alternative to the GOP in the post-Trump era, what the country needs is a sane and centrist Democratic Party.
We choose the future, because for all those who say our time is coming, my friends, our time is now.